Yep, let's see who's here this morning. Back after our day off. Oh, we got a few. Good morning, guys. Usual suspects. Good morning. A few things on tap today. I'm not sure what job to start with. I don't know. Excuse me. I've got to work on this calligraphy, of course. We might finish this morning if I can concentrate on it. Maybe not. Who knows? This also is another job waiting for me. I don't suppose we'll get to it today. Maybe this will be tomorrow's job. We've got another batch of a certain popular print has arrived here, and I've got to do the embossing on those. There's a bajillion of them sitting here. That job is waiting for me, but I don't think that'll be happening today. And we've got a little bit of show and tell maybe if we take a break halfway through here this morning. I've got a couple of prints that would be nice to show you. It's about the upcoming video. We've started preparation on the next video, and it'll be fun to do a show and tell on some of the things that'll be part of that video. But first, I just better simply get to work here, I guess. I sharpened up just a few minutes ago, so I think this is ready. Continuing with our work on calligraphy here. Cameron's son and I went to Olney yesterday to work with the girls in the workshop there, and we had a nice day, peaceful day. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spring day, nice weather. Sunny, the girls were happy, getting lots of work done in the workshop, happy to see us. We did a bit of maintenance work, just touch base with them. And partway along after lunch, I finished the jobs I had got to do, so I head for the river. For the first time, I got myself in my river there, stripped off and got in there. I think the ladies that work there are crazy, you know. The house is right by the river. It's a beautiful, clean, clear stream. On hot days, it's just perfect to get in there for a while. They won't even think about such a thing. So it'll be the first time easily in around a year that I was in the water there. Better check what's happening here. Lots of good mornings. Good morning, everybody. Key block will get finished today. Maybe. Yeah, in the stream, I sat in the water there. It was, there's been heavy rain down there. The last weekend was really, really heavy rain, the last few days. So there's tons of water pouring off the mountain. And it's cold. It's cold, cold, cold. But the water was totally clean and clear. So I just stripped off, sat in the water just below the dam. It's not a dam, it's a little weir there. The water cascades over it. It's not deep enough to swim. It's about maybe, I don't know. It's up, not quite, so halfway, but between my knees and my waist. So I just sat there for 15-20 minutes till I got frozen, and I was hoping maybe I'd see a kingfisher or something, but you can't schedule that sort of thing. So, and from where I sat in the water, you can hear upstairs in the workshop. You can hear that there was two ladies there talking in Cameron. You can hear those guys chatting, just sitting in the water. So nice. When I lived there by myself, it was just great in summer. When you get too hot working, printing, you just strip off and head for the water and then back up to the bench. And that's Tokyo. This is in Tokyo. Not downtown Tokyo, but it's still in Tokyo. And it's completely private. None of the nearby houses can see it. The street can't see it. It's totally private. You can hear sounds from the neighborhood, but nobody can see. These are the four kanji. It's katsu, shika, hoku, sai. Hoku is the easiest one here because it's so clean and clear. sai is looking rough. Is it hokusai? You mean the carving is rough or the outside around it? No idea. Yeah. How much we clean up outside. There was still all this stuff, this calligraphy and everything actually. This is stage 1 carving. We'll carve it what we think is okay. But then after doing a test printing, of course, come back and adjust many of these things. In the case of this calligraphy, lots of parts that needs adjustment are things like this. These little hooks and clicks at the end. They're really difficult to get the shape exactly right at this stage in carving. After the first test printing is done, you come back and you can see how the little taper works on the end and stuff like that. There's also too, I mean, putting calligraphy like this on a print for the party room where it's going to get really hammered over the next couple of years. This is really all a kind of an experiment, you know. I don't really know how this thing is going to work. The staff is still convinced this is going to be a disaster. You know, we're asking the party attendees to do a gradation on this print. The staff is still all like, Dave, this isn't going to work. What are you going to do? You know, blah, blah, blah. They're all thinking about the problems that are going to come up and how the disasters are going to happen, you know. And we're just going to try and work around it. You know. In terms of the gradation, we haven't carved the block for that yet. You'll see that over the next couple of weeks. When I'm carving the block for the gradation, we're going to try and put guide marks on the wood and guide marks on the brush. And we'll have a training block. There'll be a training block sitting there first. And people will pick up the brush and rub the block over the training block, trying to keep the thing lined up, trying to line up the marks on the brush and the marks on the block. You know. I have confidence we'll be able to do it, I think. We'll see. If it doesn't work out, we'll just move on to plan B. We'll do something else. The other thing different that we're going to do in the print body for this block, those of you who have done one of these print bodies already, you know that for most of the block sets we've got, the Sensoji block, the Peach Boy block, the Cherry Blossom block, there are 3 color blocks, and we follow it with the key block in the print body room. You know. Our normal printing, key blocks come first, but in the print body room we have to do them last because the black would smear onto the other colors if we don't do that. But this Great Wave party set is going to have 5 blocks, not 4. And instead of doing it in a case of doing 3 blocks, taking a coffee break and doing the final block, we're going to do it with 3 blocks and a coffee break and the final 2 blocks together. And part of the coffee break time is going to be training time. They're going to be drinking their coffee. And we're going to talk and train about doing the next step, the gradation. There's just no time in a 1-hour session to be able to have full printing with 5 blocks and a full coffee break. Depends how many people are in the group. You know, we do up to 4 people, sometimes 5 people. So we're going to be using some part of the coffee break time for training. So what, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. The angle we see it, things change, you mean, the appearance? I know. What we've got here, there's still some paper left on the block here. Yeah, there's some little white traces here and there. There's bits of paper left. And I've got the light here at a really, really acute angle. Let's try and do this. If I turn it round, the way the light shines sometimes catches shadows of this paper. So things start to look different under different angles, you know. I'm looking at it straight down. You guys are seeing it at an angle, but I'm looking at it straight down. So no, this is not. This kanji is totally different from what's on the full-size image. To show it's completely different. Do I have a copy here still here? Let's see. Oh shit! No. Okay. Here's the full-size picture. Do I need to zoom out? We try that. Okay. Here's the full-size image, of course, and the kanji on the full-size image is quite different from what we're doing here. Here's the full-size. Let's zoom in. This is what's on the original one. It's Fugaku Sanju Roke, 36 views of Mount Fuji, Kanagawa. It's where we are. Kanagawa Oki Namiura. And people are not sure. Kanagawa is a place name. It's still used, Kanagawa, a place southwest of Tokyo. Oki means far. Kanagawa Oki Namiura, under the wave. So I guess they're saying far off the shore of Kanagawa, under the Great Wave, but we don't really know. And then this is the signature hooks I was using at that time. I don't remember what it says. This is 19. I can't remember the reading of this. Hoku Aratame Shichu. Is that the one? I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's totally archaic writing, and I can't remember what it is. So we've rewritten it. We just took modern. This is just a computer printout. This is nothing. This is just one of the fonts on my computer. Katsushika Hokusai Namiura. And the reason we did this is, as I mentioned before, we need to fill this space. This is practical reasons. This has nothing to do with artistic sense at all. This is a print for a party room. And when beginners are printing, when they put the ink on, they can put the ink on and see it everywhere. Blah, 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 no problem. But when it comes time for them to print, people are printing, of course, they put a piece of paper on this to get ready to print. And they can't see where to rub, remember. So what we have to do is, because beginners don't know and can't figure out where to rub, we have to make sure there are no big open empty spaces. We learned this with our early print parties many, 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 many years ago. So I didn't put the calligraphy in here for sort of artistic reasons. I put it in here because I have to fill that empty space. Because if I don't, people are going to, with the paper on top, people are going to bash in here. But as it is now, because there's text or something everywhere, they can rub cleanly and clearly, and they'll get a good print. The goal of our print parties really is to make people come away with, wow, look what I made. I had a real good time and I made a beautiful thing. Not to have a sloppy, messed up, bashed around print. So we do everything we can to try and make it so that they get a good print at the end of the day. I'm a tiny bit nervous because there's still a bit of an open space here. And we were joking, we should put a flying bird in here or something, or some more foam to fill it up. But that would be too much of a distortion of his image, I think. In retrospect, I should have perhaps moved this a little bit farther that way. We'll see how it goes. Yes, this is a fake. It's a forgery. We're going to put it out on the market and charge thousands of dollars for it. All right. Would you ever move to a house closer to Asakusa? Forecasting the future. Who knows? What can I say? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. When we opened this Asakusa shop, it was back in 2014 when we were planning it. I was thinking I would commute not on a daily basis, because 2.5 hours is too much to do on a daily basis. But I was thinking I'd go back and forth, maybe a couple of days here, a couple of days there, a few days here, a few days there. It turned out to be not practical at all. All the work I have to do these days is here in Asakusa, not in Ome. You know, the public face, I have to be here. I have to run print parties and stuff like that. So my job has become in Asakusa. If we get it to a point where I'm stepped back farther and there are competent staff here doing those jobs, the print parties, the sales, running the shop, and if I'm able to move back to more production, then yes, I would move my activity back to Ome. But I can't see where it's going to go. I can't see that yet. You know, at the moment, I'm still very much needed here in Asakusa. So this is where I spend my time. It's where I sleep. It's where I eat, and it's where I work. You know. Where we go from here, your guess is as good as mine. My legal residence is Ome. In Japan, people are registered where they live. It is registered with the city office and stuff. My legal residence is Ome. Our tax address is Ome. This business is all based in Ome. And we have a branch here in Asakusa. But sitting in that river yesterday, please reminded me, boy, oh boy, I'd sure like to be there more often. It's just so beautiful. Last night on the train back from Ome, it's about a 2.5 hour trip to get back here from out there, Cameron and I went out there together, so we were chatting and stuff on the train. But on the way home, he got off part way along, about 1/3 of the way along, because there's a different route to get to his home. He lives up in Ibaraki Prefecture. So when we left Ome, the first part of the journey, half an hour or so, was on the train together. And then he transferred to a different line to go to his home, and I came back straight here to Asakusa. So after he got off, I got my router out and was browsing some news and stuff. It's free time for me, 1 hour on the train. I can't really do work. So it's random browsing time for me, something I don't really have a lot of normally. And one of the news feeds I was reading had a story about Twitch. So I thought, wow, I've got to read this. And wow, it was interesting. So a lot of stuff I don't know about Twitch, which is basically everything. But anyway. And it wasn't just this story about, wow, look how many people are making millions of dollars off Twitch. It was a bit different. It was talking about the ecosystem behind the people who are broadcasting on Twitch. It was talking about, I don't know what they're called. I don't know, whatever there are, I guess, talent agencies or agencies who manage. I guess they're managers or something. People who are managing the talent agency managers, managing the people who are operating on Twitch, the people who are doing streaming. And I don't suppose any of them are interested in me. Of course, we're not monetizing our channel, so it's okay. But it was really interesting to read about some of the stuff behind this, And it's growing into such a huge thing, If I was a TV network or something, people involved in the professional TV business, man, I'd be worried about this sort of thing, And they gave some facts and figures in the story. One of the numbers they put down on the table was that Twitch channels which have subscribers and stuff, and I think it said, I shouldn't quote because I can't remember. I know they're talking about the partner channels, the ones that have subscribers and stuff. And I think it said there were over 20,000 of them now. And it mentioned an average revenue figure. And it talked about revenue from these people who are streaming on Twitch in a professional way to make money. And the number that it put into the article was, again, am I remembering correctly or not? It was 1.1 cents per viewer per broadcast minute or something like that. I think it was talking about dollars. It was all done in dollars because it was an American story. 1.1 cents per viewer per minute. It was, I guess the money came from combination of subscriptions and ad revenue and whatever other kinds of revenue accrue to those people. I don't know. So reading that, okay, I went to my own Twitch channel, looked at the viewers, minutes, blah, 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 and did the math. If I put in 1.1 cents per viewer minute, etc., etc., there's a number that comes up, and whatever, it's enough to make a living. So I can't quite believe that number. I mean, we're sitting here doing this channel here, and what is it, on a typical day, 100 people, 150 people watch this thing? I don't know, whatever's watching now. I don't have the number available at this end here from where I am. And I just read this stuff and, whatever, The whole idea still of, people like you guys who are watching this morning, regular viewers, friends, watching this because you're interested in it. The idea that I got to think about monetizing you, it repels me so much, The other part of this, people are learning from this. The Facebook page that's gone up together in association with this, where people are trying to make prints. Some of those print experiments over on that Acolytes page, the stuff that people made is now in our shop, There's no way I'm going to think of this as something to be monetized, The other side of that, more of a dark side too, reading about those people in that story, which was it was a sensible written story. It wasn't some kind of shocking scandal story, whatever. Sensational story. It was a common story. But reading about the people who were making a living on Twitch and doing this with subscriptions and stuff, the life they were leading to be able to do that really did not sound particularly I don't think they were having fun. Where are we here? You're saying Twitch is a tiny niche market. I don't think so. If you look at some of those newspaper stories, this is a staggeringly large outfit now. The revenue and stuff that pours through Twitch every day is huge. I don't know how you will explain to your tax people. I explain everything to my tax people. Whatever revenue we get goes into my income. It gets declared on my tax. So there's no tax problem here. Everything we get at this end, whether it's Patreon or selling prints or whatever direction, anything that comes into our bank accounts is declared on the tax forms. We ourselves are not hiding anything, and there's no problem with it. And that's another thing too. I don't want to sort of drive this channel, watch the subscriptions and how many are subscribing and what do I need to say to get more subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. I really don't want to do that. Not because I'm lazy, but I don't. That's not what I see this venue as. The other thing that's really interesting too. I haven't explored this because I'm not sure I have any way to find out this data. The readership, the viewership of this channel has really stayed pretty stable. Those of you who have been, looking at this and seeing this, it's whatever, 100 to 200, very, very occasionally peaking at 300 people for one of these streams. And yet almost every day there are new people here. There are new people coming into here saying, wow, what is this? What's going on? Stuff like that. So because there's a steady stream of new people coming in, that must mean also there's a whole stream of people who came here for a while, looked around and watched and then disappeared because, that was it. They had enough. Which, of course, I completely, totally understand. So I think what we're seeing here, there's some hardcore group, the people who are right here talking to me this morning, the ones whose names I see every morning in the Good Morning session. There's a hardcore group, which is really, really not extensive at all. It's a fairly small group of people. Then there's rings around that. People who are, just drive by and look for a while, drive by and stay for a day, for a week, for a month, and then wander off. So So I don't think that even if I did do the subscription thing, I don't think it would work out to be a big deal. There's going to be, the hardcore group may subscribe and may enjoy that. But I think other than that, this isn't a channel that's mostly of really sort of casual and ephemeral interest to most people. And then one in every X number of people, one in every 10 or 100 or 1,000 or whatever, gets hooked a little bit and gets drawn into the thing a bit deeper. So. But anyway, from reading that story, it's really made me convinced that absolutely this is something that's here to stay, and it's still in the early stages. Where it's going to develop from here is still very much an open question. And clearly, I think this is going to be part of our life from here on in. You know, when I started it last year, was it August, September? I was thinking, let's play with this for a while and see what happens. It's going to take an awful lot of time, but you know, it might be beneficial and blah blah blah. It's pretty clear now that absolutely this is something that's here to stay. And I think can only grow from here on in, you know. Okay, let's see how this side does look. Let's put some camellia oil on there. I think it's okay. What's the running water noise you hear? I think it's the fan on my computer, you know. There's no rain today. The microphone is sitting here. On my computer, it shows my CPU is running at 13.4%. No overload, but for some reason my fan is running. The computer itself is not hot. If I take, just for a trial, if I take the microphone and move it away from the computer for a while. A weird background noise for two microphones. We've only got one microphone running here. Speak to me, speak to me. This is the mic, it's plugged into the video camera. The laptop sound here is turned off. It's dropped to 0. Do we have two microphones running? Tell you what, I can try this. I can put the MacBook, I'll take the MacBook audio, I'll turn it back on. Here it comes. The MacBook audio is now coming on, coming on. There's now two microphones running, which is a no-no, absolutely. I'll turn off the Blackmagic microphone. I've now turned off the camera microphone, and it's just the MacBook audio. And there's probably tons of fan noise. So I'm going to put it back. I'm now going to put this microphone back on. And turn the laptop audio off again. So I'm not sure. I know I'm in the process now of doing a bit of research on getting a new microphone system because there's clearly problems with this. One of the viewers the other day sent me a link to a bunch of stuff. We're going to look into getting a better lapel microphone with a Wi-Fi. A wireless lapel microphone. It was fine. The mic was okay. Sounded fine to me. Yeah, laptop audio off. Yes. Anyway, as far as audio goes, we are looking into it. I'm going to read some of the research that guy sent the other day, and I think I'm going to order a new wireless mic. So I'll be wearing a clip mic, wireless. Okay, anyway, sorry, get back to work here. But it's still, the fan is still running. Enough of that stuff. Here, let's try and elevate let me try and elevate the computer here. Lift up junk underneath. Computer elevated. The fan has stopped. Interesting. So lifting the computer up did help. So there must have been a bit of overheating in there. Nothing to do with the CPU usage. It's simply a temperature monitor, I guess. Interesting. So I guess from now on, going into summertime, that's going to be one more thing on my pre-stream checkup. Killing Safari, getting the Wi-Fi worked out, and elevating the computer. So, Computer's too quiet now. That fan noise is gone. It's too quiet. Should zoom in back again. I guess I'm in and out too much all the time here. Where are we? 8:44. Here's Cameron. Hi. Cameron lives in Ibaraki. It's 27 minutes for him to get here each day. Good morning. They're just talking about you. I think they've got you tabbed as far as time of day or something like this, he says. They're talking about Cameron's commute. People are talking about you, Cameron, on the internet. People on the internet are talking about you.
Oh no.
How does that feel? How does it feel? They're asking if you've got a private plane.
I've got a private plane?
I don't know. I didn't follow all the chat here or something. So
News to me.
here's one. Oh, great. Cameron. It says.
Maybe, are you sure it's not? Oh, great. Cameron's here.
That's up to
Finally,
you. That's up to you. I don't see an exclamation mark. So. Oh. How's the weather out there? Nice day again?
Yes, but quite a bit warmer than yesterday.
Warmer, yeah. We picked the wrong day to go to Ome. It was so nice out there yesterday, you know. I forgot it. We should have got some pictures, you know, the river down there and me sitting in the... I should have taken my camera out to the river.
Yeah. I did have my camera, but I didn't know you were in the river until I saw you come back up. I was like, I wish I...
Yeah, so. Actually, I wasn't suitable for camera work anyway. So whatever.
Okay.
Here you go. Can you take this as junk in the way here so I can get this stuff out? What I wanted to do is I'm carving this calligraphy and I'd sort of hoped to... what time is it now? It's
9:45. Or 8:45, sorry. I'm off by an hour.
I was hoping to do a tiny bit of show and tell. Some of the stuff I brought back from Ome yesterday. So but I was hoping also to get this calligraphy finished. So I'll tell you what, let me work on this for a bit. We still got some time, right?
Yeah.
So let me chew away on this.
Yep.
And then maybe when it gets to 9 or something, give me a jog and we'll do a little bit of show and tell.
Okay. Cool. Good morning. Did the heater have, or did the train have the heater off today? Yes, but the station, as soon as I walked off the train, then it was really hot. I was surprised. The train was nice and cool, and then I get out and...
In Saxa station?
Yeah, just down there.
So the air conditioning is not on yet or something, isn't it? Right?
In the station. In the train it was, so that was nice, but it was toasty.
So what time did you get home last night? About 7 o'clock or so on schedule?
What time do I what?
What time did you get home last night? About 7
get
or
home?
so?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, 7 o'clock.
I'm sorry for being late, making you late there, but whatever. I know my day, there's no way around it.
Yeah, Ome is a long way away. It was all fine. To bring a bag to work? Yes. And today I've got some heavy boards
yeah, that's
in
right.
it.
Stuff. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yep.
Acting as a pack horse tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's today.
So it has been hot. It wasn't too hot yesterday. It was nice
Come on,
walking
nothing
around.
yet. Nothing yet. This is May. My God.
Yeah. I just don't have much tolerance for heat. So I think I'm going to take a vacation for the next 4 months. No, I'm just kidding.
Unpaid, whatever.
Unpaid, whatever. Just to sit under an air conditioner all the time.
This is nothing.
I know.
Up in Niigata, I guess you were okay, you know, because up in the mountains there, the summers they're hot, but they're a lot less, you know,
Yeah.
they're a lot less intense than down here on the coast. You know.
And we were up at kind of the tops of those mountains, so it was beautiful. I don't think it ever got above 28 the whole time I was there.
Suzushi, the show. Right. So
It was amazing.
So this is your first summer then down here in town?
Yeah, I've traveled around in the summer, but haven't
Lived here.
lived through a summer.
And now you're in an old building without a whole lot of air conditioning. You're here and there, we've got bits of it, but
We'll be okay.
your little room upstairs, right in the middle of the building there, away from the air conditioning.
Bring a fan.
We'll see what you're made of.
Um,
Bring a fan. That's going to make a difference.
might feel nice.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's this room here that I think is going to become the office room. You know, so we have access. We have windows and something we can turn into.
Oh, it stopped briefly. Oh no, it just got choppy. It didn't totally cut off, it looks like, but
We're going to start that again, are we?
No. Drink some more of that water. I stopped by 7-Eleven to get myself a 2-liter bottle of water. I don't get why people pay 110, 120 yen for 500 milliliters when you can pay 98 yen for 2 liters.
Or maybe you can get it from a tap.
Or you can get it from a tap too, but I needed a bottle, so I'm planning to, from now on, just refill this one again and again. Sorry, I'm just very thirsty. Whew. Okay. Don't have too much to say. Yesterday we went out to Ome. Were you already talking a lot about that?
A little bit about it, yeah, just mention.
Okay. Yeah.
Touch base with the ladies out there, get up
Yeah.
to date.
Learned how they pack prints.
Oh, so you tried, so they put you to work yesterday.
They put me to
That's
work
right.
yesterday.
Okay.
So if you see some impeccably packed prints, you know who to blame when they're not quite impeccable.
You were packing what, Heroes prints? Okay, Heroes prints. The ones that came back from Jed.
Yeah,
we finished
the
making
hero
them.
rests.
So we sent them over for signing. They came back after signing. Yeah. This is the workflow that a lot of people don't understand. You know, Jed designs them over there in America, sends us electronic files, Photoshop files, whatever with lines. We do the physical production, carve it on wood blocks, make the physical prints here. Then they all go back to Jed. I know these are speaking about the Ukiyo-e Heroes prints. They all go back to Jed for signing, and he puts his seal on them. He signs them, seals them, numbers them. And then he does all the international shipping of the Heroes prints. We don't sell overseas. Jed's the authorized agent for overseas sales on the Ukiyo-e Heroes, global sales.
He keeps some and sends us.
Well, he gives most of them because he's the single sales. Then we buy from him. We purchase some wholesale rate to sell in our shop here. So the Ukiyo-e Heroes prints we have in our shop were made upstairs here on the 3rd floor, sent to Jed for signing and sealing, and then we buy some from Jed at a wholesale price to sell in our shop. Subscription prints work differently. We publish those here. We get the designs from Jed. We do our own manufacturing. We sell and ship all over the world, and we pay Jed a royalty for each one that's sold. So they're too small. They don't get a signature and a seal from Jed, so he doesn't see them.
Yeah. Until he gets his own.
Well, he gets a copy. So by that point, it's too late. What have you guys done with this?
Yeah.
If he got that, it's too late. Yeah, they're already shipped. You're just getting one. So he trusts us. I mean, we know we've had lots of experience now over the years to do what. So we publish those. I'm the decision maker on what to do about this and that and the colors and stuff. And Jed gets a royalty, a nice royalty for each one of those. So those two series run hand in hand.
Apparently that was a nice ad for 7-Eleven water. I just yes, they do have 7-Eleven everywhere in the world.
And they ship to Tennessee?
I would. But there are many, many more 7-Elevens, I think, in Japan than in the entire U.S.
There's over
if I read
20,000
that
now. They had a campaign just a while ago. They just hit 20,000.
20,000 7-Eleven shops in Japan, which is about the size of California. If that. It's land area.
No, it's the size of Montana.
Oh, okay.
California's way, way bigger. Way bigger. You do a quick Google check on that.
Yeah.
The land area of Japan is almost exactly the same as Montana. If you're comparing it to American states,
Yeah.
Montana is the closest.
Okay.
You're probably talking about GDP or something. I don't know. Japan is tiny in terms of area. It's spread out. It's actually quite a big place. People think it's a tiny, small country.
Right.
It's geographically spread out.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
huge.
long and skinny.
Cold Hokkaido to Okinawa, different variations. But the land mass, unless I'm misremembering, Montana is the one that's the closest, I think. Begins with an M. It's not Maryland.
Yeah. Maryland's quite a bit smaller. There's a website called MapFight.
Map fight.
Yes.
To compare. Okay, there you go. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll compare Japan and Montana, or wherever it is, or
Yeah.
Japan and California for your guess.
Japan is, 0.89 times the size of California. So you're right, it's about 10% less. And then it's almost exactly, you're right, the same size land area as Montana. It's 1.01 times.
Okay, but that's a lot closer than I would have thought then. California's not 0.89, 0.9 then. So
0.89, yeah.
So 90%. So that's interesting. California and Montana. California is 90% the size of Montana then.
Yep.
I would never have guessed. I would have put California like 3 times as big, just thinking about what a map would be. How about you?
Really?
Because California is so long.
Yeah.
Montana's a little tiny square box. You show?
No, it's a big box.
Okay.
But it is a box. Not quite as boxy as Colorado or Utah.
Okay. Jill, that's interesting. Montana then is much bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's big. The population density is a little different.
Yeah, no question about that. Yeah.
Thanks. Dead Steve says Twitch has released a new super low latency broadcasting mode you can use, which can reduce latency to about 2 seconds from broadcaster to viewer if you're interested. And then he's got a link to the support page for that. So
Right.
maybe we'll take a look.
But does that require bandwidth at each end? What's the bandwidth requirements? You know,
Yeah.
we have a theoretically very high bandwidth, but we're not really getting it in practical terms. You know, at least not from this back room. When we're in the new shop downstairs, when I've got my carving bench down there, we're going to be wired,
Yep.
totally wired, and I'll be 10 times the bandwidth that I have up here now. So
Yeah.
if that doesn't solve our problems, then god damn it, I don't know.
I don't know what will.
But that low latency also, that will require being fairly close to whatever Twitch server is around. If Twitch has it, do they have servers in Asia here or not? I don't know, you know.
I think they've been trying to make a big push into Japan, so I'm pretty sure they
But
do
we've got
have
that problem.
some
Remember, most of the viewers, the people we're chatting with right now, they're in North America. You know, so most Twitch uploaders, I think, are probably in North America too.
Because that's
So
where
this-
it started.
So this latency thing is all based on running on a local quote USA local network. I mean,
Right.
We've got the Pacific Ocean in the way in our case, so that may be the reason some of these issues are happening. You know.
It is a long way to travel. It's amazing, but we have.
When I do
these
that stream every morning, I get a ping of about not 4 nanoseconds, it's 4 milliseconds or something.
Yeah.
You know. So we're doing okay with our signal upload here. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see. A few weeks from now, when we get downstairs, everything's going to change.
Tutilus, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he's saying, as far as I know, big areas of Japan are not very populated, and they're occupied by mountains instead. And then Japan does have areas packed with people, and other areas where almost nobody lives.
Of course, sure, it's
Yep,
hugely.
that's-
There's a graph of this. I forget the numbers. It's like 10% of the population is 90% of the population is in 10% of the area or something.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. So.
Something wild like that.
In that sense, not so different from a place like Canada.
Toronto, Vancouver.
Yeah, I forget the numbers. It's huge. It's ridiculous. It's like 90% is within 5 miles of the U.S. border or something ridiculous like that. I forget the exact number. Huddled as far south as they could possibly get.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone asks, is Nico like Twitch? I actually read a recent article about that a few days ago. Nico is a Japan-made video streaming service, but it has some differences.
Do they do much live stuff like that?
They do some live stuff, but most of it.
That was sort of a YouTube Twitch combination, I thought.
But they do live game streaming, but because the Japanese gamer market mostly is mobile games on cell phones and handheld games, like, well, now the Switch, but 3DS. Most of the game stuff leans heavily toward those.
But how do they stream? How do you stream from a...
They get them specially modified or run connections.
From a cell phone?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
A cell phone game? They're stream...
You can stream from them. It's pretty crazy. So Japan focuses a lot on those ones, on Nico Nico. And they have this strange thing that I don't understand, but it's very popular in Japan, where a chat, instead of being in a separate window like here or on the side, they run the comments across the screen.
And it's insane.
So you can't even watch the video.
Yeah, it's insane.
When something
Absolutely.
exciting
And they're in this
happens.
large, funny red type and yellow type.
Yes.
And it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I heard one of the funniest ones that happened was the live stream on Nico Nico of the announcement of where the Olympics will be held. And when Tokyo was announced, the whole screen was just covered in words. You couldn't even see the video. Because everyone's just, yeah, woo!
And it's just like the Prime Minister sitting there doing his banzai and stuff like that. So
So, pretty funny. So it's different, but they do game streaming, but they have very limited English language support, and since most of people who are interested in watching Dave have been English speakers.
What, we should join Nico Nico or something?
No,
I don't want anything to do with that.
No, but it makes a lot more sense for us to use Twitch. And you have to be a member. They won't let you watch any videos without creating a membership on Nico Nico.
Is that new? Because I've seen some. Remember when they were talking to us about that? Or was it a couple of years ago?
Huh.
They wrote to us, so I went to the
Oh, no, I
website and
didn't.
looked at a few things and thought, I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah.
So is that new maybe?
Okay, I think it must be. I don't know.
Or there's a...
Or they have very limited access
Okay,
or
maybe, I don't
something.
know.
But
This was a long time ago. So
okay.
Japan's a funny place, you know.
Japan is a funny place. But we're both here, so we must like it. What makes you say it's a funny place?
Just that example you just did, you know, the way that things are sometimes so different from the way they're done in other countries. It's not better or worse, it's just, you know,
Just differently done.
we sometimes look and say, why don't they get it? You know, and maybe it's me that doesn't get it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the cell phone thing for so many years, the Garakei thing, you know.
Yeah. Japan held on for a long time to those folding flip phones.
You know, when iPhone first came to Japan, it was all, they're not going to make it here, not going to make it here, you know. And then,
It did take a little while, though.
Okay, I think I've got the first rough cut done on this calligraphy.
All right.
It definitely will need more work after I test print it.
Yeah.
Some of the, you know, like I said, these little, I talked about it before, the little endings and tweaks and pops at the end of these things. It's impossible to see them under these circumstances. But after test printing, you can see them clearly. Like I can see this one. This has to be trimmed a little bit, but it's difficult to see at this point. So okay, let's do a tiny bit of show and tell. What are you, around 9 o'clock now?
9:03.
9:03, okay. Let me zoom out a bit here. I know we talked the other day. In fact, I know you know Jacques, who was here the other day from the Netherlands.
Yes.
He doesn't watch the streams live. He watches them because he's in the Netherlands. He goes to bed
He
at a
likes to
sensible
sleep,
hour.
yeah.
More sensible hour. So he watches these things in I don't know what's the word in
Reruns. No.
reruns. Yeah. So yeah, reruns. Okay, recorded version or something. Whatever. So. And I guess I must have mentioned. Was it yesterday or the day before? No, it couldn't be yesterday. It must have been 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I had mentioned in the stream the upcoming video, what it's going to be about. I said, I'm going to try, no guarantees whether it's going to work. I'm going to try and do another one of those rambly videos telling a story from, you know, way back when. And I hadn't realized it, but it turned out that the Ito-san story we did about the woodblock was done in May of 2016. 2 years ago. And then the next rambling story, the one about when I messed up the Coutier woodblock and had to recarve it and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that was done in May of 2017. So it seems like this is going to be the schedule if I can get my act together next
Yeah.
couple of weeks and do another one of those ramble videos here in May of 2018. So I had mentioned this, and I forget something else I mentioned about it was the topic was going to be a print series that had a strong effect on me many years ago, back in 1982. And Jacques wrote an email that day. I know, you're going to be talking about that Genji set of prints, right? You know, and I'm like, yeah, you got it. So maybe everybody else doesn't know what I'm talking about, but in Ome yesterday, one of the reasons for going to Ome yesterday was to pick up a couple of props that I'm going to be able to use in that video. You know, when I tell those rambling stories, I can't just ramble with nothing. I need to have things to grab on and show, you know. And one of the things I'll be showing is this, you know, travel diary from 1982, where we kept our, you know, kilometers and how much I spent each day and which stations we stopped at and stuff like that, you know. And I did find it. I'm trying to get my documentation in hand so I can tell the story truthfully, because it's so long ago I don't remember some of the stuff that
I don't
happened.
remember the dates.
And then some stuff that isn't marked that I thought, this is Okayama. This is February 5th, 1982. Oh no, we went in 82, so the February 5th might be 1983 by then. I'll have to work it out, whatever. And here it is, in Okayama. And it was a totally, absolutely pouring, raining day. It had been raining for days. We'd been on a bus and a hovercraft and whatever. Yeah, I can't tell the story now. We'll tell a story later in the video.
Yeah.
But this is some of the stuff that I picked up yesterday from Ome to try and document this. There we are on February 5th in Okayama, like anybody cares what day it was. But the point being, it was a rainy day. We went into a department store and I saw some prints and it changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. So we'll give a sneak preview. This is the print set. We weren't able to buy it that day because it required more cash than we had in our pocket while we were traveling. But we took a note of the name and address of the publisher, and as soon as I got back to Tokyo, I went and bought it.
People were asking about those stamps in your book before you get that open. Yes, those are all from train stations and hotels and... Or not hotels, hostels, were they?
These were train... The ones you're
these are
seeing
just
here,
the
these are
train
train station stamps. Every train station in Japan has a little tiny desk with a rubber stamp, you know, a stamp pad on it. Most of them are round, some of them are... Every train station in Japan, without exception, has one of these. In the tiny little way stations, you have to maybe ask the guy at the counter, he'll bring it out. And when people are traveling, especially kids, they get the stamp from that station. You know, this has been going on for, God knows, since the trains were first built here. I have no idea. It's a little bit tough. You go to Tokyo Station, you try and find it.
Yeah, where is the stamp?
I don't, but it's there.
There's gotta be
Absolutely,
one.
it's there. You just go to one of the station guys and say, "Where's the Eki no stamp desu ka?" What would it be called?
Stamp.
Stamp. Eki no stamp. So. And they're great fun. And of course, as soon as I found out about it, there's one from Utano Youth Hostel. Hotels. I think if you go to the Meridian Hotel, I don't think they have a hotel stamp. I don't know, but whatever youth hostels and stuff have.
The hostels do.
And train stations do. And whatever, some of them we didn't get. Either I couldn't find it or forgot or, wasn't there, whatever. I don't know. So, but there they are. And they of course, they show a bit of whatever the something scenery is and what's going on.
Even when I've done some hiking in the mountains or in the national parks here, there are cabins and lodges and things, and they've got
got their own
too.
stamp, yeah.
Everyone's got a stamp.
Yeah, so people do it. It's your
There are even
souvenir.
towns that let you do this stampurari or stamp rally. So if you go and get a stamp at every onsen, they'll give you a free ticket to the next one you go to or something.
The
like
subway
that.
station here, they do this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Not go around all Tokyo and collect all 6,423 of them, whatever. But yeah, I'll get this certain group of them, whatever.
We'll
there you go.
give you a free mochi. Or
Stamp
something.
rally.
Yeah.
So stamp
rallies.
is that English? Is that an English word? Stamp rally?
I don't think so.
It is in Japanese.
Yeah.
Stamp rally.
Waseigo kamoshi.
So, and then the youth hostel pass. Look at this, 1982, Dave's youth hostel pass. We traveled in youth hostels, and they have their own little stamps. And this has all come apart now because all the tape is torn. Each youth hostel. This is the youth hostel little stamp book.
Yeah.
And you stamp where you've been and blah, 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 blah. So this is my documentation of where I was. Tsuchitaru, you've been there. Tsuchitaru Sanso, the shop.
Yep.
You know this one. It's a great place. I put exclamation